This will be for the con exercise, slope from equation. So for this exercise, we're going to be using the basic line equation, y equals mx plus b. And slope is represented by the number, the letter m. It's going to be the number that's multiplied by x. All right, so when you get your equation and it's not in this form, the two steps to finding the slope, number one, you're going to solve for y. So in other words, you want to get the equation into y equals form. And number two, the slope is going to be the number that's times x. Okay, so once you get it into y equals form, you just look for the number that's times x. That's going to be your slope. All right, one thing you want to remember, if you have numbers that are added or subtracted in the numerator and they are over a common denominator, you have to remember that each of these terms is divided by this denominator. Okay, so here a plus b over c is going to be the same as a over c plus b over c. All right, so just to give you an example, let's say you had negative 4x plus 8 divided by 2. Well, now you know that each of these terms are divided by 2. So negative 4x divided by 2 and positive 8 is divided by 2. All right, negative 4x divided by 2 is negative 2x. And positive 8 divided by 2 is just positive 4. All right. Now, you don't have to write this out into two steps. We could have went right from here to here. Negative 4x divided by 2 and positive 8 divided by 2 would have given us that answer. So just remember that for this exercise. All right, what is the slope of the line? So remember, we basically want to solve for y. All right, so we want to get it in the form of y equals mx plus b. And the slope is going to be the number that's multiplied by x once we solve for y. So let's do that. All right, we want y equals, so we have a 2y right here. We want that by itself. In order to get rid of negative 3, we do the opposite to both sides. The opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. All right, so bring down your negative 4x. 7 plus 3 is positive 10. Bring down the equals. Bring down your 2y. And negative 3 plus 3 cancels. All right, solving for y, we have y times 2. The opposite of times 2 is divided by 2. Now, when you divide both sides by 2, you have to divide that whole thing by 2. All right, 2 over 2 cancels. And we basically have y equals. Now, remember what we said before. Each of these terms is divided by 2. So negative 4x divided by 2 is going to be negative 2x. And 10 divided by 2 is just positive 5. All right. So we have it in this form, y equals. We just wrote it backwards. And we said m, the slope, is the number that's times x. We can see right here, that is our slope. That is the value for m. All right, this is in the form of y equals mx plus b. I just wrote it backwards. All right, but this is the slope right here. Negative 2, the number that's times x. All right, multiple choice, negative 2, answer C. All right, so we want to find the slope of the line. We wanted to get it in this form, y equals mx plus b. All right, so we're going to solve for y. Okay, so here We have a negative 5y. We want the y by itself. I'm going to get the 2x on the other side. So minus 2x on both sides. 2x minus 2x cancels. Bring down your negative 5y. Bring down the equals. And we have 9 minus 2x. Okay, solving for y. This is y times negative 5. The opposite of times negative 5 is divided by negative 5. Again, you want to take this whole thing and divide by negative 5. On the left side, it cancels, and we're left with y equals this mess right here. Now, each of these terms is over negative 5. So I'm going to write this out in 2 steps. We have 9 divided by negative 5. And we have negative 2x divided by negative 5. So I'm going to put a plus sign there and have it as negative 2x divided by negative 5. All right, you can always add a plus sign in front of a negative, right? If I had 5 minus 2, just as an example, I could make that the same as 5 plus negative 2. That's the same thing. So that's all I did right here. Negative 2x divided by negative 5. I just added a plus sign in there. All right, it doesn't change anything. So let's finish this. All right, so we have y equals, and this mess became this right here. Now, I'm going to write the x part first, just so I can have it in this form, but it doesn't matter. 2 negatives multiplied or divided makes it positive. So negative 2 divided by negative 2 divided by negative 5 is 2/5. And we still have the x. Okay, you can put it in the numerator or you can put it out front. It's the same thing. And 9 divided by negative 5, well, let's see, positive divided by a negative is a negative. So that's negative 9/5. Do we need that? No, we just need the number that's multiplied by x. So this right here, if you don't see it, I'll rewrite it. The equation y equals mx plus b. And this number right here times x is your slope. So m equals 2/5. All right, and that is the value of the slope. Answer A. All right, so these are all the same, asking for the slope. Now, if you know point slope form, we can see already the slope is negative 4. I'm going to assume you don't know point slope form and do all of these the long way, y equals mx plus b. All right, so we're solving for y here. We want it as y equals. So here I have y plus 3. The opposite of plus 3 is minus 3. All right, I'm going to do that to both sides. 3 minus 3 cancels, and you can bring down the y. And you can bring down the equal sign. Now over here we can use the property. It begins with a D, and that's the distributive property. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times positive 7 is negative 28. And minus 3 is still there. Okay. Now you can certainly combine like terms here. Negative 28 minus 3 is going to be negative 31. But do we need that? No. All we need is the number that's times x. All right, and we can see that right here. The slope m is negative 4. So this step at the end is unnecessary. Answer B. All right, last one. What is the slope of the line? As always, we want to do y equals mx plus b. All right, here it looks a little confusing. We have two separate y values or coefficients. I kind of want to keep y positive. So since 3y is less than 5y, I am going to subtract the 3y from both sides. You can certainly go the other way if you wanted to, but I want to keep y positive. Okay, 5y minus 3y is 2y, and 3y minus 3y cancels. Now, I'm going to bring down the equal sign, and since I want y equals by itself on one side, I want to get this negative 3x on the other side. The opposite of negative 3x is positive 3x. Do that to both sides. 3x minus 3x cancels. We brought down the equals, and 2x plus 3x is 5x. Finally, solving for y, we have y times 2. The opposite of times 2 is divided by 2. And the 2's right here cancel. And y equals 5x over 2, which is the same as 5 halves x. Again, if the x is in the numerator or out front, that's the same thing. As long as you don't put it in the denominator, that's the same thing. And the number that is times x is our slope. So m equals 5 halves. That's your slope. Answer C.